Hey, nerdy sports fan here. Week 7 NFL action, divisional matchup that's probably going to dictate who wins this division. We're talking Philadelphia Eagles traveling to see the Dallas Cowboys. This is very even. Very even. The Eagles have stumbled more recently. So have the Cowboys. They're both 3-3. And they're only a game up on the Giants, tied for the division lead. Yeah, only a game up on the Giants. Let that sink in. So, whoever wins this game is likely to win the division. It's a very meh division. And, people are saying that the Cowboys are probably going to fire their coach because, every time the Cowboys lose a few games, especially to, the Jets, how do you lose to the Jets? People who hate Jason Garrett are going to call for his head. Now, he is not a good head coach. He's not. He's got a very talented team that's not necessarily built perfectly. They have a great offensive line. They have a great running back. They have an okay quarterback. They have a great receiving core. The defense is great for pass rush, bad for run defense. They have a very good linebacker in Van Der Esch. They have leftover parts in their secondary. Anybody can throw the ball against the Cowboys. Most people can run the ball against the Cowboys. The Cowboys desperately need to generate enough pass rush to just murder the quarterback in order to make their defense scary or start-worthy fantasy football-wise. Do not start the Cowboys defense. Every week they will disappoint you. Every week. They need to generate sacks. The one week that you decide to bench them is the week that they're going to get like 19 sacks and you're going to tear your hair out. Okay? They are not consistent enough to put out as a defense. The Eagles, same thing with their defense. They're just not consistent. Their offense has been riddled with injury, especially at receiver. Alshon Jeffrey finally came back, and he showed up in a big way since he came back from injury. So, if Deshaun Jackson ever decides to play again, I know he's hurt. I'm not ragging on the guy. But if Deshaun Jackson gets back in this lineup, they become scary. Scary. But they're not there right now. They don't have the deep threat that's needed to take the top off of the defense and really open the offense up. So Alshon Jeffrey is going to get double covered. Nelson Agholor will some weeks be able to really shine because of that double coverage. Other weeks he'll just be, the invisible man because he's Nelson Agholor. All right, that's just his MO. Jordan Howard is getting more utilized. Miles Sanders is the real dynamic player in the backfield. He just still hasn't figured out pass protection, so they're not using him as the primary runner right now. But 1 week he'll be fantastic and get like 20 some odd points. The next week he'll get nothing because he's not getting carries. Jordan Howard is the guy to own right now in the backfield. He's the one that's going to be consistent. He's going to be the red zone go-to because he's definitely the tougher runner. And he's just more experienced, so he knows pass protection. And if they're behind, they're going to utilize him a lot more than they will Miles Sanders because they're throwing the ball more. And you need somebody who can pass protect when you do that. Philly, if they were fully healthy and fully staffed, they would normally win this game. They're not fully healthy and fully staffed. And Amari Cooper being healthy enough to come back is all Dallas needs to dominate this secondary. Amari Cooper is a wonderful talent to watch at wide receiver. He's not the fastest dude. He's not. But he's great in space. He catches everything. He's a very natural hands catcher. And he makes people miss. He makes people miss. He runs fantastic routes, so he's always open. Double coverage doesn't matter. He'll find weak spots in zones. He's a delight to watch. Check out the film on Amari Cooper if you're really feeling down ever. It's just very fun. And he's got other talented receivers around him to take some of the pressure off. So he's not always double covered. When you get like Michael Gallup out there, fully healthy, which I think he is now finally, he can really take the top off a defense. So they got to think about that more dynamic play down the field. So it leaves a lot of the underneath stuff that Amari Cooper does open. So, yeah, start Cooper. He's going to dominate this secondary. He might get you 25 points. Ezekiel Elliott doesn't seem to be the running back he was before he signed that big deal. I think it's a motivation thing. Who knows? But he's still a worthy start because he's Ezekiel Elliott, and this defense doesn't really do that great against running backs for whatever reason. Maybe it's because they got rid of Michael Bennett. I don't know. Anyways, I have the Cowboys in this game, mostly because they're at home and they're fully staffed and the Eagles aren't. They are currently 3-point favorites. I think that's a good line. I wouldn't touch this game with my money because I think the line is set perfectly where it needs to be. And whichever way you go, the other way is likely to end up. That's just how life works, right? As far as fantasy starts, Jordan Howard, Ezekiel Elliott, Amari Cooper, Zach Ertz is the primary receiver for Philly. You're starting him every week as a tight end because, you drafted him to do that. This isn't likely to be Carson Wentz's best game. He doesn't travel very well, at least consistently. He's consistently good at home, not so much on the road. Dak Prescott is much better at home than he is on the road. So Prescott, start. Wentz, you might actually have a better option than him. It's really a coin flip. He's still a top 10 quarterback. You just might have lucked out and got one of those other guys that's got a much better matchup this week. So Wentz is one of those guys that I would actually bench in favor of a matchup-friendly guy like a Josh Allen or a Jimmy Garoppolo. So check out the rest of the videos I have for more fantasy advice. Hit up Nerdy Sports Fan Weekly for my take on recent NFL news.